Hey everybody, welcome back to the Sixers Sense podcast. I'm your host Lucas with Chris, and besides it being April Fool's Day, all Sixers fans got tricked by Joel or the organization, depending on who you think was actually the jokester there. But in the meantime, we do have some stuff to talk about.
Yeah, Lucas. Or was anyone joking? Who actually knows? We're going to start though with the Heat game. This was kind of a disappointing loss after the recent the win over Charlotte was so positive. We were so excited about the direction of this team. The Heat game obviously had real postseason stakes. Philly goes in and drops it 119 to 109 on the road. 26 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists for Joel, 19 for Paul George, 23, 9 assists, 7 rebounds, 2 blocks for Tyrese Maxey. He was the only positive plus-minus guy of the starting lineup. 11 apiece for Kelly Oubre and Quentin Grimes off the bench. 23, 16 rebounds, 6 assists for Bam Adebayo in 42 minutes. 30 for Tyler Hero, 20 for Pele Larson, and 14 off the bench for Jaime Jaquez, 14 for Wiggins as well. This was a pretty close game throughout. Miami kind of pulled away in the second half, though. Lucas, what were your takeaways in this one?
First off, that Tyler Hero can get hot as the best of any of them in the last 2 minutes if given the opportunity. Besides that, I mean, look, the Sixers went into ISO ball with Joel Maxey at the end of the game, and while that can win you some games, that will certainly lose you some games. Like you said, that wasn't the best shooting for either one of them, or technically any of the big quote-unquote big three. So this wasn't like Miami did a good job defensively. Obviously, we say that Joe Mazzulla is the best coach in the NBA, but you could argue that Eric Spoelstra is right up there with him, and for good reason. I mean, look who they have on their roster. Tell me if any other coach had this team that they wouldn't be like below 500. Like you have Andrew Wiggins, role player at best, right? Especially at this point of his career. Bam Adebayo, Davion Mitchell, Tyler Hero, Pele Larson, Simone Fontecchio, Jaime Jaquez, Khalil Ware. I actually like Khalil Ware. Drew Smith, Myron Gardner, Keshad Johnson, Nikola Jovic. I'm not even going to try to say this. Vlad
Golden. Just go with Vlad.
Vlad Golden, Trevor Keys, Jaku Konis. Not even mentioning some of the guys that aren't on that list, but like still, like any other coach would not have that team over 500. Let's be clear, unless it's Joe Mazzulla. But like, seriously, shout out to the Heat for having one of the best head coaches and us not having one of the best head coaches.
Yeah.
Look, ISO ball against the Heat is not going to work. They're too good defensively. You have to keep the ball moving. And honestly, I was kind of hoping that we see a little bit more Edgecombe in clutch time because we've seen Edgecombe win us a game before. And I feel like this was he was actually pretty efficient in the limited offensive touches he got. So I would have liked to see more from him.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. Miami played a really good defensive game. Classic story. They out-rebounded Philly by a pretty comfortable margin, especially on the offensive glass. That's just a persistent problem for this team that we're going to be talking about.
Do you think it's personnel or do you think it's coaching? I think it's coaching.
I mean, it's been the problem through 3 different coaches at this point. I think it is at least partially personnel. I think
Joel's never been a box out type of center. He's not going
to. So that's a personnel issue. Miami is like still a good team. They've been on kind of a wonky stretch here lately, but like you said, Spo is the best in the business, really. So it's hard to get too upset, but this was not a great performance in a kind of a must-win game. Thankfully, Lucas turned it around, won by 22, 153-131 in Washington. Not exactly a defensive masterclass from the Sixers. This was a 2-point game at halftime. To a late Paul George 3. Both teams put up a lot of points. Philly pulled away in the second half, though. 39, Sixers career high for Paul George. 6 assists, 3 steals, 6 made threes. 23 for VJ with 10 assists. 28 for Tyrese and 9 assists. We can start, though, with the Joel thing, Lucas. Before the game, It was tweeted out by Kai Carlin that
Mm-hmm.
Joel is out tonight due to an illness. Joel said, quote, "Must be April Fool's. Played against Miami in the same conditions that I'm playing tonight. Hashtag sweat it out." Then Philly basically doubled down, said he is still out. And Joel said on Twitter, quote, "I guess they won't let me play basketball." Now, it's
Ooh,
April 1st. Some strange timing. I don't really get the joke.
I
If
don't
this
think it
an
is a
April
joke.
Fool's
And let me just
That's the
say
thing.
that okay, this is on the heels of the NBA PA making a statement about Giannis wanting to play and the Bucks not wanting him to play if he's healthy, right? This was calculated by Joel. This was calculated. And it's going to get ugly this offseason. I feel like it's going to get ugly between him and the front office if Daryl Morey stays. Now, they're not going to get rid of him because you can't get rid of Joel, but this was not a... I know everybody's like, oh, it's just whatever. No, this is a player that wanted to play it out. He wouldn't have tweeted it if he didn't want to play.
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know what to fully make of this.
It's
not ideal.
I just find it interesting. This happened on the heels of what's going on with Giannis in Milwaukee. Shout out to Doc Rivers, former Sixers head coach, getting into a Hall of Fame inductees. So good for Doc. I know you don't like Doc, but we got to give credit where credit's due.
Yeah,
Okay?
it's deserved.
He's
Yeah.
not the worst. He's not the worst head coach that Joel has had during his tenure here as a Sixer. I'll argue that I think he's been better than Nick Nurse.
Okay, low bar, but
the bar is still there.
Yeah, that's fair enough. It's not even worth debating. Look, I don't really even know what to make of this. Like I said, we'll see how it plays out. I'm sure we'll get further comment on this of some kind. We might be missing it as we record this podcast, but
I mean, I'll check my phone, but yeah,
I'll pull up Twitter right now. But if this is what it looks like on the surface, which is that Joel wanted to play and the Sixers didn't let him because he was sick, I do think logically it makes sense to sit Joel against Washington in April. Clearly, this was a winnable game against the worst team in the league. They handle business. They have Paul George and Maxey.
Are they the worst team in the league? I don't think so. But that's another argument for another day.
Semantics. Yeah. Maybe Indy's worse right now, but
I was going to say Utah, but okay.
Or Utah.
Or Sacramento. Yeah.
I mean, there's a Nick Nurse update from before the game that, frankly, I missed.
What was it?
Said, quote, "We had activities this morning, film and stuff. He didn't make the film after he kind of reported some sickness from Miami the other day. Medical obviously went to see him and wanted to get him checked out by a doctor. We obviously decided to rule him out at that point. So, seems like he was sick.
But if the man, I guess the only thing that I can see is they didn't want to get fined by the NBA for false reporting or whatever. But I don't think that was the case. But whatever.
Yeah, Joe's not helping their case in that instance. But yeah, I mean, I think holding him out if he's sick, and especially against Washington in general, is a totally legitimate decision. Even if they had just called this load management, I understand Joel wanting to play. He has always wanted to play. I think sometimes his reputation gets skewed in a way that's not true, that he doesn't want to play and that he's been kind of passive throughout all these injuries, and that's just not the case.
I was about to say, ask Nugget fans how they feel about him not wanting to play.
Yeah, he's ducking Jokic or whatever, which is just blatantly false. But yeah, it's weird. It's not ideal for the vibes. I don't know why he would take to Twitter specifically for this. We know that this past offseason and in the past there's been some friction about how to handle his injuries. He's been pretty willing and open to dialing it back this year and being smart about things, but if he thought he was ready to play and the Sixers told him no, I can see that being frustrating for him after he's missed quite a bit of time this year already. But yeah, any notes you have from this game, Lucas? Paul George, again, 39 points, 6 made threes. He has looked quite good.
Can we talk about a
100%
triple
sure.
double for VJ Edgecombe? I think this is not triple double. Sorry, double double. I think this is his second of the year, if I remember correct, second or third. Um, do, in your opinion, I think we both agree that Maxi's more of a combo guard and would probably be better served if he's playing next to a bigger like point guard type deal. Is VJ just a shooting guard, or is there a chance that he can be a combo or point guard, or is it just like shooting guard and like help out with playmaking, good playmaking shooting guard?
Yeah, I mean, I would say right now he's pretty comfortably a wing combo guard.
Yeah, yeah,
If there's always room for development, guys can go on crazy developmental arcs. It happens. He's not really that kind of manipulative ball handler at the moment. Could that happen? Sure. Is he going to be like a good? He's very smart. He's a good passer. It's not that he can't help out in that respect. I think Maxi is more of a natural quote unquote point guard and probably
that's fine. Yeah,
yeah. You have Joel and Paul George too. You have multiple guys who can kind of set things up. So I think that's okay. But yeah, 23 minutes, 12 points, minus 13 for Quentin Grimes in a game the Sixers won by 22. How much better are the Sixers with Jared McCain? That is the question we will be asking. Another one.
Well, I was going to point out the last two games. We kind of have a good idea of what the playoff rotation is going to be, and I think it's a 7-man rotation. I honestly think that maybe 7-man, and I think it's going to be the starting 5 with Joel, right? Yeah. Maybe 8 if they get frisky, but like. I think Kelly Oubre and Quinn Grimes are going to get the majority of the minutes off the bench. Yeah, you might get Drummond / Bono depending on the matchup. Yeah, but like you can play Barlow as the backup center, honestly, and get away with it. Honestly, I'm surprised they don't do that more often.
I mean, he's just he's not much of a rim protector. Not that Drummond is either, but
I think Bono can't rebound at all. I'm sorry.
More of a perimeter guy on defense. Yeah. Look, there's no perfect solution, obviously, but I imagine it'll be 8, and we'll see either Drummond or Bono, depending on the matchup.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit of
campaign,
campaign or Justin Edwards if the matchup demands it, but
or foul trouble. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Nick Nurse has been talking up Justin Edwards quite a bit. It's like the one young guy he believes in.
Yeah, to be fair, he has been playing. He played very good when everybody was out.
He did.
Yeah, I think he played credit. But I'd rather have Jared McCain than campaign. Just saying.
Yeah, or Quentin Grimes.
Yeah, I mean,
we had to trade one of them.
I mean, that would be nice. Though I wish that we didn't have to play Tyrese Maxey 30 and VJ 34 and 33 minutes respectively in a blowout win.
I mean, both PG and Maxey came back into the game like midway through the fourth with Philly up by 20, and I was pretty upset. I was like, why are we doing this?
Why?
Naturally, because the lead kind of shrunk after that, and they needed to stay out there longer. So, classic Sixers, but
classic Sixers.
Maxey playing 44 minutes. Sorry, I'm looking at the Heat game. He played 34 minutes, but still.
Can we not?
It's just not ideal.
No.
All right. Let's talk about the playoffs picture here a little bit.
Playoffs? We're talking about playoffs?
Right now, Lucas, as things sit, as of this recording at 10 p.m. Eastern, Wednesday, April 1st, the Sixers are 42 and 34. That puts them in the 7th seed in the East. They're half game behind Toronto, a game and a half behind Atlanta in the 5 spot. They are 2 games ahead of Orlando, Charlotte, and Miami, who are all 40 and 36. So let's start with the play-in tournament. We're going to rank the ideal play-in matchups for Philly, and then we'll rank their potential postseason matchups, assuming they make it through the play-in, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Or they get to the 6th seed or whatever.
Yeah.
All right. Right now, their potential play-in opponents are Orlando, Miami, or Charlotte. We could, in theory, include Toronto and Atlanta here, though I doubt.
I doubt Atlanta drops. Yeah. Maybe Toronto does. Maybe. It would take a lot. It'd take a lot.
Yeah, I mean, look, Charlotte is red hot in 2.5 games back. There's time for that to flip, but Let's just do Orlando, Charlotte, and Miami right now because that seems the most likely outcome.
I do want to note. I do want to note that Philly and Orlando are the only teams that have a plus minus differential of any of the playoff play-in teams, just in the East. Just saying.
Well, I'll have another stat here to throw at you, Lucas.
Okay.
And I want you to tell me how this makes you feel.
Okay, I'm ready for
You
it.
want to know the Sixers record against teams above 500 this season?
I have a feeling it's not going to be great.
17-30. They're 25-4 against teams with a losing record, which is really good.
Yeah, that's great.
They're really bad against winning teams.
Well, that does not make me feel great.
Nope.
Yeah. I will say that the East is a lot deeper than people thought, and honestly, I mean, it's deeper than the West. Let's be absolutely clear. The only playing team that has a above 500 record in the West. No, there's technically 3, but like not by a lot.
Sure.
No, the East is better in this season. Deeper, I would say deeper. I won't say better, but I will say deeper.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Sure. All right, Lucas. Which team do you least want to face? Do we want to do top to bottom or bottom to top? Should we start with the one we want to face the most, or we want to face the least?
Let's talk about least.
Okay, who do we least want to face?
Miami. I mean, look. I know last time we played them in the play-in, we beat them, but that was a buzzer beater. They have a better coach than us, and they've proven that in recency that they can beat us when we're fully healthy. And they're not fully healthy, by the way. So, yeah, I don't want to see Miami. That is a Eric Spoelstra trap game, if I've ever heard of one.
That's fair. What are your feelings on Charlotte at this point?
Charlotte is the middle team. I mean, look,
very hot.
They're very hot. They're dangerous. Obviously, they pushed us to our limit. But the difference between them and Miami is that Miami has some savvy veterans that have been in deep playoff runs before. Charlotte does not. They do not. They're a young team.
Fair. I mean, Miami doesn't have a ton of those guys. I guess.
Well, let's see. Bam's been to the NBA Finals. Tyler Hero's been to the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
Norman Powell, I believe, was on the Raptors when they made their finals run, right? If I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So they have some guys that have been to the NBA Finals. Okay.
I like Charlotte a lot more on paper.
On paper, yeah,
but better team.
They might have the better team, but they lack the playoff experience. Young teams don't always do well.
Charlotte has a better point differential, like you just cited.
That's the highest fair.
Point differential and wins of any team in the last 20 years or some crazy. I need to find the stat, but they've been really blowing out the team. Here, I just found it. All right, Charlotte has a point differential of plus 18.1 in wins, or this was as of a week ago, so this probably changed.
Yeah, and look, they did blow us out in February, but that was January.
Is the highest average point differential in wins of all time.
That's great, and look, I get that they blew us out in January, but at the same time, I'm thinking about this, Chris.
We have played Charlotte well in the past.
We have played them, but Miami has also played us. I'm just saying, veteran savvy plays a big role in the playoffs. Out of the 3 teams in the play-in, Miami definitely has the most playoff experience between them besides us. So I'd rather not play Miami. I'm keeping obviously they're not the best team, because if they were, they would be higher than the other 2, but they're not. And technically it's a 3-way tie. It doesn't really matter to me, but they're the team that I don't want to see. I mean, Charlotte's close, but I feel like our veteran experience could help in that regard, where Charlotte doesn't. I mean, their longest tenure player is literally Miles Bridges, who's been there since 2019, 20.
Yeah,
he's not.
Fair.
Yeah,
I mean, look, Con Canepa was in the Final Four last year, but
not the same as the NBA playoffs. Come on now.
I know.
But I think we both agree that Orlando's the team that we're okay facing.
Yeah, I would agree. Orlando's dead last to first place.
And part of it is they I mean, look, Paulo, I believe in Paulo. I know you don't, but I believe in Paulo.
I don't not believe in him.
Okay,
I just don't believe in him this year.
okay. Well, I believe in Paulo. I think, look, they've been playing solid. They haven't been playing, I mean, granted, not in the last 10 games, but like, look, I think Orlando has some things. They got to figure out the Franz and Paulo fit. You got to. I don't think you can move on. I mean, you're not going to get full value for either one if you move on from them because they're going to do better on the next team that they play on. But you try to make it work. I don't know how, but you try to make that work. But like they're still missing. Like they have probably the worst offensive coach in the Eastern Conference, arguably. In terms of being able to coach offense, I think Jamal Mosley's probably the lower worst.
I mean, I think
he's really good defensively. To be clear,
personnel. Like they just don't have the right personnel. But yeah, that's fair. I want to face Orlando 100%. We would face Orlando right now if the season ended today. They are technically in the 8th seed.
Yeah,
I'm gonna differ with you a little bit. I'm gonna say I at least want to face Charlotte. I just think they're the better team. They have more momentum.
Okay.
More momentum. I understand the experience argument, and that's valid. But
look,
Miami not. I know we just lost, but Miami is not exactly playing its best basketball of late either. And
that's fair.
Charlotte can just boat race a team when they're on, and they're a better defensive team, frankly, than Miami this season. So, yeah, I'm going to say Charlotte. Yeah,
and look, that's fair. I'll also say, and look, your reasoning is completely valid. I get it. Of the teams in the top 10, the only two teams within the past 10 games that have a losing record is Orlando and Miami. So I get that. Yeah. So look, it's
also noteworthy. Charlotte is 21-17 away from home this year. Miami is 16-22. Both those games, if the current standings hold, would be played in Philadelphia, presumably. So
yeah, I mean, look,
Charlotte's a better road team.
Yeah,
which helps in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, but I understand the Miami point too. It's pretty fair. All right, Lucas.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the potential postseason matchups. I would say Philly's range at this point is anywhere from the 5 seed to the 8 seed if they make the playoffs, hopefully. That means they are going to play either Detroit, Boston, New York, or Cleveland in the first round, depending on how things go. So who do you least want to face of those 4 teams?
Well, hang on. Do we honestly, speaking of a super hot team, Atlanta has been one of the hottest teams as well.
They're not going to catch Cleveland.
You don't think so? Okay,
let's
they're
pretend
what?
Like they're not going.
They're 3. Okay, that's fine. Out of those teams, who do I least want to see?
Yeah,
I think we've already said it. It's Boston, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Okay. Look, no, Joe Mazzulla is a maniac.
We're just scarred. Even if Boston was like the least inspiring of these teams, we'd say Boston. But
Boston, yeah. Look, I don't want to see them in the first round. I honestly thought we could have won that Knicks series a couple years ago. I honestly do.
Yeah.
We beaten Cleveland in the past. I feel confident in beating them again, assuming health. By the way, what happened to Jalen Talon? I haven't seen him. Jalen Tyson, sorry. Tylen, the wings that was Tyson. What happened with him? Is he just out of the rotation?
He's just hurt.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, no, I don't. Yeah. So in Detroit, while are scary, we don't know what Cade's going to look like when and if he comes back.
Yeah. Okay. So who's number 2 here? Who's the second
out of those remaining 3? Who I at least want to see? Oof.
Yeah.
It's not Cleveland. I'd rather see Cleveland. Cleveland's, I'm just going to spoil it right now. Cleveland's the one I'd rather see. I think right now, I'd rather not see New York. Fresh wounds there. And they do have a center that can actually give Joel a little bit of problems defensively.
Yeah.
One of the few centers in the East that can actually do that. Because you could argue, I mean, I don't really think I can say for sure if Jalen Duren can give Joel fits yet.
Yeah,
I have to see it in the playoffs, but I have seen Mitch Robinson do it. And look, last time we played them, Mitch Robinson got Joel did it. I'm going to be honest, that was a dirty play by Joel. And Mitch probably would not be happy about that. Just saying. Probably still remembers that. So no, I would. New York would be number 2. Do I think I think each team in the East has their flaws, and any team could be had in the certain matchups, in the right matchup. I don't think there's a prohibitive favorite in the East. Or
I
like,
don't know.
or not
I
maybe.
kind of feel like Boston is the favorite at this point.
I mean, to be fair, Jason Tatum just did have a triple double after coming back from an Achilles injury.
Yeah,
That's
it's
crazy.
unfortunate, but I think Boston is the favorite. Okay, I might differ with you here a little bit.
Okay.
I will say on like the Detroit front, it obviously depends on when Cade Cunningham comes back and what state he's in.
Yeah.
If you're telling me we're getting full strength Detroit with Cade operating at the peak of his powers,
oh yeah, then I don't want to see Detroit.
it'd be hard to not put them second here. I don't know if I trust the Pistons offense fully the way that I trust the other three teams here. They are probably the better defensive unit, and they will probably murder the Sixers on the glass, which I'm worried about. I don't want to lose the series to Tobias Harris either.
I was about to say, if Tobias Harris hits the game-winning, series-winning shot against us, we all just need to go home.
Knowing the Sixers, that's exactly what would happen. I don't feel great about this. I will pencil in Detroit as my second least favorite,
and then that's fair. Look,
assuming they're going to have Cade.
I'm not upset about that. Look,
I'm going to say I would rather face New York than Cleveland. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, that's fair. And look, like I'm going under the assumption that Cade will not be fully himself when he first gets back, or if he gets back on time. I think CJ missed 3 weeks the first time, and then like CJ McCollum missed like 6 weeks the second time. So this injury ranges, right? So like, let's see how long it takes.
Yeah.
But fair. Yeah, no, Cleveland would be the one, right? Because while they do have it, what?
I would rather face Cleveland than New York.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, Cleveland would be the one that I would want to face.
No, I would rather face New York than Cleveland.
Really?
Yeah.
Explain yourself.
I just trust the Cavs more. I mean, we've seen Brunson kind of struggle with VJ specifically, but also just size and physicality in the playoffs. It has gotten to him at certain points. I don't know. The Knicks just feel more vulnerable to me this year than they have in the past. I don't know if the cat thing is fully working. I think their offense can get kind of wonky sometimes. Cleveland with James is playing very well. I mean, Harden, I know he has his postseason track record, and that is what it is, but I do think he's a very strong complement to Donovan Mitchell at this point in their respective careers. I think he has made Evan Mobley and Jared Allen look a lot better when they've been on the floor. I like Cleveland's talent a lot. I feel like I've kind of been banging the Cavs drum unsuccessfully for years now, like just waiting for
it to happen. They just haven't done it in the playoffs, dude. Why would I trust them?
I just have a feeling about Cleveland. I think James really does move the needle, and we can talk about his postseason track record or whatever, but I just think he's a good player. I trust him enough. I just like Cleveland's roster better than New York's.
Look, let me put it this way. I'd rather see Cleveland than Atlanta. That's how I feel about it. Cleveland has never shown me once that they can do it in the postseason. And like with Atlanta, like they haven't done it either.
Going to be able to defend Joel.
They might not, but like, can Joel win us a series at this point? I don't know, but they can guard everybody else pretty darn good on our team. So
I think Philly would beat Atlanta in a series.
But like, we would not leave that series unscathed. I'm just gonna say that somebody's gonna come out of that banged up pretty bad.
I mean, you can probably say that about any series, but
I don't know.
Assuming held, I think we beat Atlanta. I don't know if we beat any of the other 4 teams we've talked about. So yeah, I'm gonna say Boston, Detroit, New York, or Cleveland, New York.
I'll say
who I don't want to face to who I do want to face. So you're gonna say, but Boston, New York, Detroit, Cleveland.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's fair. All 4 of these teams are very good. I really don't want to face Boston. I think we're just both united on that front.
Yeah, no. No, this is no. Look, Jason Tatum is looking closer and closer to his former self.
And worth noting, if the season ended today, we'd face Boston. So
If we
that's how
win the
things are
play-in,
shaping up at the
yeah.
moment.
Yeah, that would
Uh,
be the case. That's not a...
unless we lose to Orlando in the play-in,
Mm-hmm.
who's the team we just said we want to face the most because we'd probably beat them. So awesome stuff. The basketball gods are smiling upon our beloved Philadelphia 76ers, Lucas. Paul George is back, vintage PG. Joel Embiid is beefing with the
The team.
front office, maybe. VJ Edgecombe is going to finish third in Rookie of the Year voting. Everything's awesome.
Tyrese is probably going to get a second team All-NBA.
Yes, he should. Maybe you should be first. I haven't made my teams yet. We'll do an awards pod.
We that next
week.
next time.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good idea that I just had because we
Totally.
need to do that.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I do want to say, if we get this version of PG, it does make me feel a lot better about most of those matchups.
I agree. I mean, PG is like actually fresh in April, which is not normal.
Yes, him fresh
of late. So,
and Joel
fresh. I think it was Bobby Marks who just tweeted out like that 25-game suspension might be the best thing that's ever happened to the Sixers. It kind of feels that way.
It kind of does, doesn't it? Yeah.
You know, I'm sure we'll lose in the first round or whatever, but it does kind of feel that way. All right, Lucas. Around the NBA, anything you want to talk about?
Yeah, I actually do. So there's been rumblings from NBA Central, I think, the Twitter account. You know it, I know it. That if the GM or the president of basketball operations of the Bulls I can't even say his name, Artunis, whatever his name is, stays, Billy Donovan might walk. Now, we've talked about, who would be a good replacement if Nick Nurse gets fired, and we both said Sam Cassell. But let me tell you, if Billy Donovan becomes available, I think that's the name you go for, right?
Yeah, maybe. I'd be interested. I don't know if he would stay in the NBA. I wonder if
you think he would go back to college?
North Carolina job's open.
They did fire him. I'm sorry, I don't follow.
So I mean, I don't know if he's really truthfully connected to the UNC job, but that kind of thing could also be in the cards for him.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I'd be interested in Billy Donovan. I'd want to still look at some of the younger guys. You know, we talked about Sam Cassell and Chris Quinn.
Sam's not, but here's the thing, Chris. Sam's not young. He's like 50-something.
No, or
inexperienced.
Having, the fresh faces.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, that's fair.
But, yeah, I'd be very interested in Billy Donovan. Are we 100% convinced that Nick Nurse is gone at the end of the year?
I
don't think I am. I'm not sure that's a given yet.
I think playoffs obviously play a big role in this, but like,
if they win the play-in and they're the 7th seed and they lose to Boston in 6, is he fired?
Okay, well let's look at hang on, before you say that, let's take a look at the team, and like, I need to break this down a little bit more. So the Sixers are currently, and I need to look at his record the last couple years. The Sixers are currently 34, sorry. Last couple years, hang on. Basketball Reference. Nick Nurse.
To be clear, I would obviously prefer that he is fired.
Yeah, no. I got you. I follow. I pick up what you're putting down. So Nick Nurse in 3 seasons with the Sixers are 112 to 127. Okay, his first season he was 47 and 35. Last season we know was kind of a wash, right? He was 24 and 58, and then this season he is 41 and 34. Now, let's take a look at this season. Let's just take a look at this season as a whole, right? You have a two-way guy starting at power forward for the majority of the season, who has been a NBA journeyman after, pretty much not hitting as a prospect coming out of G League Unite, right? You have, top 3 rookie of the year, right? You can't develop guy who was in the front running for Rookie of the Year last year, right? You don't have good chemistry with him. You have Maxey. Okay, cool. Maxey has played. So the big 3 right now with a 42 win record, 41 win record. Sorry, 42. Maxey has played 63 games. VJ has played 68. Kelly Oubre, big rotation guy, 43 games. Joel, 36. Paul George, 30 games. Quinn Grimes, 68 games. Don Barlow, 64 games. So those are like your top rotation guys, right? So half of them didn't play half the season, okay? So you were missing, around half the season, okay? And then your bench has been pretty bad.
Yeah.
So, you could make an argument for keeping him, I suppose, but at the same time, you're supposed to be maximizing Joel and Paul George's, quote unquote prime years. Maybe not Paul George's, but like.
Well, here's the thing. Those guys both missed a lot of time, and when they have been healthy, the Sixers have been very competitive.
Mm-hmm.
Their over-under to start the year was 42.5 wins. So they're going to surpass preseason expectations by that metric. Last season was a wash. I don't think either you or I can really blame Nick Nurse for what happened last year.
No.
They were pretty good in 23-24. I don't think any of us were out on Nick Nurse at that point.
And let's ask the other question. Has he developed players during his time? There's been a lot of young players coming through.
I mean, this has been Maxey's best season by a pretty healthy margin.
Is that Nick Nurse or is that Maxey, though? Maxey was already making strides.
How do you want to define it? Like, VJ has been awesome out of the gate. Barlow's having his career year. Kelly's getting better. Tyrese is having his best year. We can say that's all on them and none of it's on Nick. But, guys are playing well.
And you could argue that the East is actually pretty deep.
I think the McCain thing is what we really hold against him. But if we zoom out a little bit, he hasn't done an awful job. I think it's very easy to get caught up in the moment and frustrated by certain.
I hate that you're making it a valid argument about this. I hate that.
I'm not convinced that they're going to look at the data and be like, Nick Nurse has to go. You know what I mean?
I think that Nick Nurse and Daryl Morey are tied at the hip. I think if you get rid of one, you have to get rid of the other.
Maybe.
And that is a Bob Myers, Josh Harris choice, not
I'm not sure they've been bad enough to make that kind of change. I'm interested to see how they view the playoffs.
I guess my question is, does being stuck in the play-in, is that bad enough when you didn't make any moves at the trade deadline and actually got worse for the season?
The thing is, I think the McCain thing, maybe not specifically trading McCain, but they ducked the tax. That is an ownership mandate. That is not Daryl Morey saying, we want to duck the tax and pay less. That is an ownership.
Yeah.
That's from the top down. So
yeah, that's fair.
You can't really blame Daryl for that if you're being a genuine
but
person.
you could have traded somebody else.
Well, of course. That's what we can blame him for. But,
you could have obviously Drummond's not a big part of the rotation. You could have argued to trade Drummond. Yes, we would have complained about that, but maybe not as obviously it doesn't feel as big of a sin because you can find a backup center in free agency or in the G League that can do similar things, maybe not to the same level, but you can find a guy that can rim run Bismack Biyombo is probably still out there. He could do similar things, right?
I mean,
he's not an upgrade over Drummond, but he's not a big downgrade either. You know what I mean? There are guys out there that could do what Drummond does for the Sixers.
Just to play devil's advocate a little bit more, Morey has done very well in the draft. This is a very, very deep draft class.
He said he doesn't want to keep the pick. He said he's
picking in the early 20s. I think we're going to get a good player somewhere if we keep that pick. Maybe not. We won't get McCain, obviously, but I think we will get a helpful player.
Well, to be fair, we didn't think we'd get McCain or Maxey in the 20s, and we got them both.
That's true. We got Maxey in the 20s. We got McCain, not quite in the 20s, but in the teens. So,
was he 19? I thought he was 20. Okay,
McCain was 16. I forget exactly where he was. I can look it up real quick.
Hang on.
He was the 16th pick, but
okay.
Yeah, I don't know. That obviously was not a good trade, but I do think I'm just not 100% sure those guys are out the door yet. Is all I'm saying.
I think that if you get rid of one, I think you got to get rid of both. I don't think you
I
can
agree.
keep
I think that's fair.
you
I wonder if
either
they
keep
give
them
it to
both.
my up top.
Yeah, that's fair. And like I said, this is I would say Bob Myers took over what in October, November as like the quote unquote consultant, like the head guy for all Blitzer Sports ownership teams. Like, so this really depends on what Bob Myers wants. This isn't a Josh Harris quote unquote decision. Josh Harris signs off on it, but
Oh, it is.
if
Yeah,
If
it
Bob
does.
Myers says,
Yeah.
"Hey, we need to change things," then we need to change things. Do you think Bob? And the question is, does Bob Myers? Do you think he's had enough time to evaluate the team on whether or not they need to keep, they need to, keep Morey
Do
and
you,
Nick
do you
Nurse? Or
think we can get Steve Kerr and Steph Curry over to Philly?
no. Obviously, that's not gonna. And look, Steve Kerr would not like
Trey
coaching
Thompson
half.
trade?
Jesus. Uh, no. Look, I just, I don't know what's gonna happen there. It's gonna be interesting though.
Yeah, we're gonna have a lot
We'll
to talk
see.
about this offseason.
And we'll see like how much sway Bob Myers has, how much power. Because if it's a former Golden State guy that takes over, whether it's the GM or whatever, like
I don't want that.
well, you're saying you don't want Luke Walton to become the next head coach of the
No.
Philadelphia 76ers?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
No. Do
No,
you?
No,
You don't,
no,
right?
no, no, no,
Okay,
no, no,
okay.
no, no, no. No, I was just making a
We're
joke.
gonna
No,
have to stage an intervention here.
my name is
Yeah.
Lucas Johnson, and I need an intervention.
Okay. Anything else you want to talk about, Lucas? I actually
uh,
forgot what your initial point was.
oh, the Billy Donovan
So,
thing. I would look
yeah,
at Billy
sure.
Donovan.
I'm into Billy Donovan in theory.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
no,
runs a
no,
very different style though than Joel has ever played.
but it
So
would benefit both
I do think
Maxi and
Maxey
BJ.
and Billy Donovan would be two
Best
peas in a
friends.
pod. I'm not 100% sure about Joel.
Well, we're not hiring him for Joel now, are we?
But that's gonna be a thing. Can't
Well,
ignore it.
no, you can always try the trade. Worst case scenario, you buy him out.
I don't want to trade Joel. I love Joel. I'm sorry to say it. Hot take. I love Joel Embiid.
You do? You do? You
Yeah.
sure? Okay.
All right.
Anything
Yeah,
you want to
I don't
talk
have
about?
anything real to add here, Lucas. Final Four this weekend. You have any picks?
Dude, I have.
I
I'll
know
be
you're
honest.
you're super up to date on all college
Look,
basketball.
I've been, I have the NFL draft coming up. I have this. I have NBA. Sorry, not NBA now. Ben, we have rebranded. It's basketball now. Then,
Nice.
yes, for those, and Uriah says hi, by the way. Yes. Look. So yeah, no, I've been busy with NFL draft stuff. I'll be honest. I have not had a chance to follow college basketball.
That's
Honestly,
fair.
I have not had fun watching college basketball in the past like 5 to 8ish years. To be completely honest, because the college game is so different than the NBA game. It's so
fun, though.
different.
I like it.
I guess,
I'm
but
sorry.
like I feel first off, it feels super slow. Barely any athleticism. Besides the top guys, right? And like, if I had the right trainer, like, no, obviously, if I was like, half a foot taller and had the right trainer, I feel like I could have done college basketball. I say that as a 33-year-old man who has a bad knee. Obviously, I am joking, but
Sorry, I was scrolling through the sound.
yeah. I'm sure. No. Look, obviously, I'm joking. I have a bad knee. I'm a 34-year-old man out of shape. But no, in all seriousness, no. I can't. Well, I think part of it is my college basketball team has sucked for a while. So like, I can't, or not sucked. They just haven't been elite for a while. So it's hard to get into too.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I picked Arizona at the beginning when I filled out my bracket. They're the only team I had in the Final Four that actually made it there. I did the thing where I changed like half my bracket on the night before, and all the things I changed were wrong, and I would have had an awesome bracket if I had just followed my gut. So that's a lesson to everyone, to follow your gut.
I wonder if anybody's bracket is still correct.
I don't think so. I doubt it. Yeah, I'll ride with Arizona, although I don't feel great about it. Michigan's
so who is in the Final Four? Just because, like I said, I'm not following.
It's Arizona against Michigan and Illinois against UConn.
Yeah, I got a feeling it's going to be. I'm trying to think of the top prospect. Look, I think UConn has the best head coach, so we'll see what happens
agree.
there. Yeah.
I think UConn, Arizona would be my pick at this point.
Yeah, I think that's probably the safe pick. Look, I like Michigan. They have some good prospects, but I don't even know who their head coach is now. Who's their head coach? Because they
Dusty May.
Oh,
He was at Florida Atlantic for a while.
I remember Dusty May. Yeah. And then who's the head coach for Arizona?
Tommy Lloyd.
I don't know. Okay, all right. Because didn't they fire the head coach for Arizona State, which was the brother of Hurley?
I don't. Maybe.
Isn't the head coach of former now? Hurley's brother got fired.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Anyway, but West Virginia in the Crown Invitational. I don't know if we won our game or not against Stanford. Like I said, I've become uninvested in college basketball until West Virginia's actual ranked again, which will probably be a while.
Yeah.
I miss John Beilein and Bob Huggins. Anyway, sorry, I digress. But that's
as
pretty
always.
Much. Yes.
Sorry. As always, everyone, thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Sixer Sense podcast. Like, subscribe, follow along if you can. We're on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. We're on Twitter at Sixer Sense. We're on TikTok at The Sixer Sense. If you want to follow me and Lucas on Twitter, I'm at Kline and NBA. He's at Coach J_20. And until next time, go Sixers. Peace out. We'll talk soon.
Deuces.